Yeah. Very easy lesson first.
Okay. Oh, it's called. No, I don't think so.
Ah, it is. It's the first lesson.
Sine, cosine, tangent.
It's easy.
So it's terrible. And this.
Terrible?
Just remember this. I don't want to remember a new one.
This is sometimes written as CSC, Cosec. Okay, so just firstly the names, right?
CSC?
For Cosec, sometimes. Sometimes they're like this. So this first one here, we call this sec. It's short for secant. We call this one cosec, short for cosecant. And we call this last one cot, is short for cotangent. We have secant, cosecant, cotangent. You should write the names down. Would be a good idea.
I need to find a new pen because it's it can't write. Oh. So tired. So tired.
Me too.
I slept so late.
Me too. 1 a.m.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not
9
late.
a.m. And
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Wait, you slept at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And you woke up at 8:30.
Yeah.
You slept for 11 and a half hours.
Yeah.
You were so tired after the listening.
Yeah.
Even though I'm tired, I can't sleep recently.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
It's C-A-N, C-A-N,
Huh? No. This one? Sorry, I'll write it clearer. S-E-C-A-N-T. And this one, C-O-S-E-C-A-N-T. And C-O-T-A-N-G-E-N-T. Yeah, you got those? Yeah. So, do any of you remember or know what secant theta equals?
Say over tangent.
No.
1 minus sine.
Oh, no. Nobody knows. Okay. Secant theta is 1 over cos theta.
Oh. Why is sine?
Okay?
Yeah.
The next one is cosec theta. What do you think that is?
1 over sine theta.
1 over sine theta. And cotan theta or cot theta?
1 over tangent theta.
1 over tan theta, which is the same as cos over sine, isn't it?
Yeah. And this is 10 minus 1 theta.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing. Now, just to be clear, okay, this is important. This is not this.
Oh, yeah.
And this is not this.
Why?
This is not this. Why?
Yeah.
Because the minus 1 here does not mean 1 over. It means inverse. Do you remember this word? No?
Maybe.
It's like if I said ln minus 1x, that's equal to ex.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's not equal to 1 over log x. But if I write log x minus 1 like that,
So it's
that's 1 over log x.
Okay.
And if I write log x minus 1 like that, it means log 1 over x.
Okay.
Just be careful. Just be careful with that. Let's do some examples. So, first simple example. Let's calculate sec pi over 3. That would equal 1 over cos pi over 3. Yeah?
Yeah.
2? Oh yeah, because a half. Yeah? What about cosec 45 degrees? That's 1 over sine 45?
Yeah.
What's that equal to?
Root 2.
Good. Root 2. Cotan 1 equals 1. Sorry, not cotan 1. Cotan pi over 4 equals 1 over tan pi over 4. What will that equal?
1.
1. Now here's a hard one. Whoops. Cotan pi over 2. What does that equal?
0.
Very good. 0. Okay. Right, now, harder ones. Suppose I want sec inverse 1.5, and we'll use degrees. Now, yes, we'll need a calculator.
Is cosine minus 1.
Maybe.
I'll say I will.
Yeah. So look, this is what you do. Okay?
Wait.
Okay, look.
1.5. What?
Yeah, okay, so watch. This is what you do. Watch, this is what you found your calculator.
Hmm?
You found your calculator.
Yeah, but I don't know how to use sec.
Well, the sec's not on it, you see. So this is what you need to do. Look. You say this is equal to x. You want x. Yeah? So you say 1.5 is equal to sec x. Yeah? So you say 1.5 equals 1 over cos x.
But you say it's different.
Huh? No, but look. No. Here to here.
Yeah.
It's not sec minus 1. It's just sec. It's just sec. Just sec. No minus 1 here.
But how to change?
Oh, how to change. Oh, okay. I understand. So what you do is you put sec on both sides.
But if side minus 1, it didn't equals 1 over side.
Say again.
It's 1 over side.
For what? Sec?
It didn't equals the this.
Okay. This, fine. Are you happy if I do this? On the left I say sec left, sec right. Happy or not happy?
Oh yes.
Is okay? Cancel. 1.5 equals sec x. 1.5 equals 1 over cos x. 1 over 1.5 equals cos x. So x equals cos inverse 1 over 1.5. Yeah? So what's that? So we'll just say 49. Yeah? Okay, none of you got this right, so you should write this example down.
Why? If we this calculator is wrong, we can get the answer.
If you what?
If we just cite minus 1.5 equals 1.5.
More than one.
Yeah.
No, maybe
I want a long break.
Don't we have a holiday soon? Yeah, so you can play your, what's it, War of Kingdoms? Kingdom War? What is it?
No, I can't.
You can't?
I need study.
Oh, good answer. Right. You got that? Yeah? Okay. Try this one, just to make sure you've got it. Try getting cotan inverse 2. Oh, and give me the answer in degrees. Nearest degree.
Exactly.
Let's see. Give me.
Oh, sorry. It's tangent. Sorry.
So it should be
26.6.
tan inverse 1 over 2, which is what?
26.6.
So do you notice what's happening here? Sec inverse, cosec inverse, and cotan inverse. This is cos inverse 1 over x. And this is sine inverse 1 over x. And this is tan inverse 1 over x. Do you notice that?
Maybe.
what is the answer?
27.
Oh yes.
Yeah? Okay. You have breakfast? You have breakfast?
Never have breakfast.
Yeah.
I won't hungry before 1 o'clock.
Really?
Usually.
Really? Okay. Ben has breakfast.
And I don't have
Healthy breakfast. Good breakfast.
Do you want?
No. I'm saying it's a healthy breakfast.
Oh.
Good potatoes and cheese. Nice.
No.
All right. Next now. Okay, so this is a tricky thing now. Let's say we want to sketch y equals. Let's go with sec x. Okay. Now, before we draw this, let's try and think about what's happening. What I'll do first is I'll draw cos x. cos x looks like this. This is cos x. Now I want to draw sec x. So sec x is 1 over cos x. So that means here and here, what happens?
Don't move.
Don't move.
Maybe.
You see, because you have 0 here, you have 1 over 0. So what happens here? It's very big. What is here? 1 over here. 1 over 1. It's still 1.
Oh.
1 over 1.
Yes.
Yeah. So as this gets smaller, what happens to sec? If you look at the formula, what will happen to sec? Come on, sleepy students.
Which one smaller?
If cos gets smaller, see, cos gets smaller, what happens to sec?
Bigger.
Bigger. So this is what sec will look like. It will look like this. It will go up here and up here. Okay? And likewise, it'll go down here and down here. Yeah? What are you saying? What? What are you saying?
You won't know because you don't watch Marvel. This looks like Hydra.
Hydra, I know.
Okay.
Hydra, I know. Let me draw this for you nicely. But you get the idea? Yeah? So the green is sec x. You get the idea? Yeah?
But I think I need a new graph.
You should do it on a new graph, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll show you the graph nicely in a moment. But the next one I want to do is y equals, let's say, sine inverse x. It's the other graph I want to do. So, first things first.
Oh.
Yeah?
The cosine x it couldn't equals 0.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can't have 0 because it breaks. Like that. Yeah. Now, what I want to do next is draw sine x. Oops. Well, you know what? I'll draw cos first since the program's open. Or I mean sec, sorry. Sec x. See? That's sec. Okay? Now, I want to draw sine inverse next. So first I'll draw sine. Sine goes like this. No, sorry. No, it doesn't. Sine goes like this. Okay? Now let's try and draw its inverse. So the problem is this has no inverse unless we make it 1 to 1. So we have to cut out a piece here. So I think usually we'll cut out this piece down to here and then here. Okay. Now it's 1 to 1. Now it has an inverse. Okay, so let's try and draw it here. So remember what inverse does. If you have x, f takes you to y, and then the inverse takes you backwards. Yeah? So if you look here, what number is this here? This is pi over 2. And this here is minus pi over 2. Okay? So, and this here is 1. And this here is minus 1. So if you look here, going backwards, if I put a 1 here then the height should be pi over 2. It's opposite, it's reverse. Yeah? And then here, at minus 1, I should be at minus pi over 2. And 0 is at 0. So it's still at 0 here. Yeah? Okay. So, like this. Let's try and draw that. The way you type arc sine on computers is a sine. Okay. Yeah.
Just
zoom in. Zoom out. Whoop. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now I just want to give you a trick. It's a nice little trick, if I can remember it. If you have fx and you want to draw its inverse, so let's say here's fx here, and you want to draw the inverse or whatever. No, sorry, I'll do something like this, and I want to draw the inverse. What you do, you draw a line at 45 degrees. And then in your head, you spin this around to the other side. Do you know what I mean? Like you flip it around. Now I'll try and draw that to show you. So let's say I have e power x. Be strong, Summer.
yeah.
Be strong.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then I'll draw x. So if I want the inverse, what I do is, in my mind, I take this graph and I flip it around this blue line. Okay, so what should it look like? It should be like this goes over here, so it's a shape over here. Okay, let's try and draw it. So what is the inverse of ex? It's log x, isn't it? That's the inverse. Let's see if we draw it, what we get. There we go. Can you picture that? This is flipped over the 45-degree line. Yeah. It's kind of, I don't know if you can see it.
They draw an exam.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you want to draw, or what do you want to write down? This, or this, or this? What do you want to write? Maybe, okay, so start with this one.
Just mirror.
Huh?
Mirror.
Mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah, mirror on 45 degrees. So, if you can, if you can see, it's like it's kind of like a mirror.
Yeah, it's mirror. Because.
Oh yeah, it is, yeah. I need to, the scale looks a bit weird. Hang on. Ah, that's better. That's better. Yeah, so it's you're right. It's a mirror on 45 degrees. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What is the first one? Is sine x?
This one, Yeah, this is sine x, and this is sine inverse. Yeah. Now there is another way to draw the inverse if you didn't like that. So this is one way to draw it. Another way to draw it, for example, if you have this, you do it as 2 steps. First you rotate it 90 degrees. You know what I mean? Rotate it so it looks like like this. And then you flip it upside down. Sorry, I'm trying to draw it like this. You rotate it 90 degrees and then you flip it upside down. That's another way to do it. I don't like this. It's too hard for me to do this and then to do this. I prefer to think about it like this. The mirror at 45 degrees. Yeah? So, let's see. Yeah, so it's not too difficult, I hope. What one should I get you to try? Okay. Can you do x, y, z?
What?
X, y, z, number 1.
Oh, yeah.
V, W, X, and
V W
V,
V oh V W X.
yeah, and then, ooh, all of question 3. Now, just so I can tell you, the reason I did that, just 1 second. The reason I did that, question 1 and 2, not really important for the exam, but question 3 is common on the exam. It was on the exam yesterday for the other students. Question 3. So I think it's good if you can practice it.
Got nice hair.
For which one?
Cot. I used the Cosec. Cosine. Over sine.
Cot 332 is 1 over tan 332.
1 over. Oh, I use. Okay.
Yeah. Sleepy, sleepy.
Oh, I know why. First times I can't get the answer.
Why?
I don't add a degree.
Oh, that's why.